This whirlwind walking tour of London starts here at the Tower of London. The Tower of London is one of London's oldest and most iconic spots to visit. It was founded by William the Conqueror, with the first building done in 1078. It's now home to the Crown Jewels, which you can visit on a trip here. You can also see the legendary beefeaters inside, who have been the wardens who have protected the tower for many decades. It was London's first zoo. A polar bear once lived inside. And there are said to be resident ravens who live here and have for many, many years. Legend has it that if the ravens were ever to leave the tower, that London would fall. As you're walking along, it's hard not to miss a view of the Shard and the skyline. Now, this is the United Kingdom's tallest skyscraper. Tower Bridge, commonly mistaken for London Bridge, is relatively new in terms of London. It was actually built in 1894 under the reign of Queen Victoria and Albert. Now, the blue color that you see was painted so in 1977 to celebrate the Silver Jubilee of Queen Elizabeth II. The HMS Belfast was part of the naval fleet that led the Allied invasion on D-Day in Operation Overlord. It also played an active role in the Korean War. The original London Bridge was built in 43 AD, and it is the oldest river crossing in London. It has fallen down many times due to Viking attacks, fires, you name it, and now you know where the nursery rhyme came from. Borough Market is one of London's biggest, most popular food markets. And in fact, some sort of market has been in existence here for over 1,000 years. It's a great place to stop, grab a snack, and refuel. But we can't stay too long because there's a lot to see. The Golden Hind is a full-size replica of the first English vessel to circumnavigate the globe in the 16th century. It was led by Sir Francis Drake at the commission of Queen Elizabeth I. Another replica you'll pass by is Shakespeares Globe, open-air theater where you can still catch some of Shakespeare's productions. Now, the original was built here on this site in 1599. This former power station, now the Tate Modern, is one of the top 10 most visited museums in the world. Like museums in London, the main collection inside is free of charge. The Millennium Bridge is a steel suspension, pedestrian-only bridge. It was opened in 2000 as part of London's Millennium celebrations. St. Pauls Cathedral, venue to the wedding of Charles and Diana. The current cathedral was designed by Sir Christopher Wren after the original was burnt down during the Great Fire of London. It's got one of the largest domes in the world. You can actually walk to the top to what's called the Whispering Gallery, where apparently it transmits a whisper across the dome. It's a measly 528 steps to the top, where you can also take in lovely panoramic views, but unfortunately, we don't have time for that today. Along the walk, you'll be sure to find one of these iconic red telephone booths. Now be sure to stop so you can get your cheesy tourist photo. The London Eye is the fourth largest Ferris wheel in the world. It was opened in 2000 as part of the Millennium celebrations. It has 32 pods, which are representative of the 32 boroughs of London. It is the most popular paid tourist attraction in the UK. The Palace of Westminster, commonly referred to as the Houses of Parliament, home of British politics. A royal residence was built here in the early 11th century and was the home of the Kings of England until about 1500. Now it serves as the House of Lords and the House of Commons, but it still retained its status as a royal residence to this day. In fact, it is tradition that the monarch still opens Parliament each year. Elizabeth Tower, commonly mistaken for Big Ben, but Big Ben is the actual bell that resides on the top of the clock tower, weighing just a little over 13 tons. Now, you can climb to the top, just a short 399 steps, but we just don't have time today. Westminster Abbey was established in the 10th century by Benedictine monks. Now, its current abbey is one of the most important Gothic buildings in the country. It has been the coronation site of kings and queens since 1066, with over 40 people being crowned here, the latest being King Charles in June 2023. There have been over 17 royal weddings, including Kate and Will's. There are numerous monarchs buried inside and other famous prominent people, such as Sir Isaac Newton and Charles Dickens. This is the ceremonial route from Trafalgar Square that leads to Buckingham Palace, called the Mall. Now you see the ground, it's colored red, and that is supposed to symbolize a red carpet leading up to the palace. Originally built by the Duke of Buckingham, called Buckingham House, this was later bought by King George III for his wife, Princess Charlotte, to be used as a private home to the then Palace St. James. The first monarch to live here was Queen Victoria. She then changed the name to Buckingham Palace. Now, traditionally, the flag flies over the palace when the monarch is home, so I guess he's home today. I'm standing in the Horse Guard Parade. Now, this was originally built by King Henry VIII, and it was to be used as jousting grounds. Today, it serves as a training exercise facility for the Royal Horse Guards and is where the annual Trooping of the Colour takes place. The Royal Guard has been kept here since 1660, when it was home to then Whitehall Palace. It is now headquarters for the Household Cavalry Mounted Regiment, who provides troops to the King's Life Guard. 10 Downing Street is the official residence of the Prime Minister. However, since 1997, they've actually resided at number 11. Now, this place is guarded 24 hours a day, so there's no getting in past these guys. and we have arrived in Trafalgar Square. Now this is considered the center of London. The square was named after the famous Battle of Trafalgar, won by Sir Admiral Horatio Nelson. This is his monument right here. At the very back of the square is the National Gallery. Now this is another famous London museum that you can visit for free. At the south corner of Trafalgar Square is actually London's smallest police station. And supposedly it could hold up to 2 prisoners at one time. Leicester Square, one of the busiest places in London, home of restaurants, bars, casinos, film premieres. It is adjacent to London's West End theaters, so it's no doubt you can find plenty of discount ticket places like this one behind me. Now, you'll no doubt recognize this, Piccadilly Circus, and this is where our tour ends. If you have more time, I highly recommend staying and going checking out a theater in London's West End. Or you can follow suit and head to the pub like me. After that whirlwind tour and all that walking, I'm sure your feet are tired. So hopefully there's some time that you can pop into a pub, grab a cheeky pint, enjoy some fish and chips, and you know what? That's London done in under 4 hours.